Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know what time it is. We have a tech testimony that's going on. He literally went from working at Clear. Y'all know the Clear service that you go through checking in at the airport. He went from working at Clear to now he is a POC engineer at Disney, of all companies. Now, look, y'all, I've interviewed people that work in tech for NASA, people that work in tech for the Toronto Raptors, people that work for SpaceX, people that work for a variety of companies for the tech industry. But to be able to interview somebody that's working at Disney, y'all know we all grew up on Disney, so this is very interesting because this highlights not just what he does in tech is unique, but it also highlights, as I said before, how every single company, every industry is either becoming a tech company in some kind of way, or they have a huge tech sector that is a part of their business. And so it's going to be a very interesting conversation. Other thing about this conversation I'm excited about is that he actually did a different boot camp before, wasn't working out so well, but he, of course, ended up doing YellowTail Tech, which is the boot camp that he did that helped him out a lot. We're going to talk about not just his story, but highlighting the difference between not a bad boot camp, but a good boot camp versus a really good boot camp or a quality boot camp, which is what I talk about often. So again, make sure y'all have y'all notes prepared. It's going to be a good interview, good tech testimony to be able to learn from him, learn from his experience and what he's been doing in the industry so far and what can help y'all out when it comes to scaling in the industry. So as he's joining on Instagram right now, again, just a highlight for everybody. First and foremost, let me know where you are tuning in from. For everybody that's joining, let me know where y'all are tuning in from. Let me know also what it is you either do in the tech industry or what you're interested in doing in the industry. And so aside from that, for those of y'all that are interested in the program that he did to get in tech, he did YellowTail Tech. For everybody that is interested in a discount, because y'all know I always have a discount to the boot camps that we're talking about. YellowTail Tech is one of the few boot camps that I've consistently been talking about because they have been quality and they've maintained their quality as well, which is important. So for everybody that's interested on YouTube, LinkedIn, literally y'all click the link down below underneath the description. You'll see the discount link and information for YellowTail Tech. On Instagram, all y'all need to do is just comment yellow, literally comment the word yellow, and you'll be able to get the information. It'll get sent over to your DMs. I thought I posted it. I did post it. Okay, let me pin it. All right, somebody said they trying to reach me. Hey, my bad if you've been trying to reach me, you ain't been able to reach me. I don't even really know what to say. I don't know. Hopefully you're DMing me on my Instagram and not the Texas New Black Instagram. So anyway, y'all, look, make sure y'all got y'all questions ready because literally once we get done hearing his story, we're literally going to transition over to y'all's questions. So everybody has a question, especially those of y'all that are on Instagram. It never fails. No, on LinkedIn and YouTube, y'all don't have to comment yellow or comment anything because the automations don't work on LinkedIn and YouTube. You'll just go on LinkedIn and YouTube, you'll go to the description down below and you'll just click on the link. But for Instagram, they comment yellow. They comment the trigger word that we're talking about. So that's pretty funny. Anyway, that always happens every single stream. Somebody on LinkedIn will comment something, even though I'm like, no, Instagram comments something. But anyway, neither here nor there. Make sure y'all have y'all's questions ready on Instagram. Go ahead and start posting your questions now. Put them, but don't put them in the chat. Put your questions in the designated question area. There's a drop down that should be above my head. You click the drop down. There's an area for you to post your questions. So that way I can make sure I get to your questions. So somebody said they're in Cali. They are a senior tech recruiter. Hey, tap in with me on Instagram. We're doing some different things with some tech recruiters. So tap in with me on Instagram. Somebody said they're in Jersey. They work in database. They work on databases in SQL. That's cool. That's cool. Somebody said, "Have you heard of?" That's hilarious. All right, cool. So we got some good people in here that's in the industry, people that are looking to get in the industry. Somebody said Philadelphia unemployed. What are you interested in doing in tech? That's really the question. What are you interested in doing in tech? That's really the question. All right, cool. All right, y'all. Look, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Y'all really excited about this story. So Dylan, you good? Do you need a minute?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Loki, like he fighting for his life over there. All right, y'all. Look, so anyway, so we were having a good conversation on the back end. We're talking about anime, talking about comic book stuff before we jumped on here. So somebody said Toronto, Canada, systems engineer trying to work remotely. to the U.S. field. Yeah, that's very possible. You can be able to work remote for a U.S. company while living in Canada. That's pretty common. Anyway, y'all, we got to go ahead and jump to the story. So, Dylan, first and foremost, thank you so much. Oh, he literally dropped out of off of YouTube and LinkedIn as soon as I started. That's crazy. So you're still on Instagram, but you dropped out of YouTube and LinkedIn. Did your computer die? That's totally cool. I'll talk to the comments while you jumping back in. All right, somebody said I'm a New York teacher. Used to be a data specialist. Would love to get into tech. Interested in product. Okay, cool. So y'all, so we're talking about so the program he did, YellowTail Tech. They cover DevOps. They cover cloud admin, cloud engineering, Linux admin, systems admin, systems engineering, things like that. So that's one of the, I did literally Sunday, I did a top 25 roles in tech or careers in tech for 2025. And the cloud industry is one of the very top. So literally the industry, the space that he's in, specifically his education that he has as a cloud engineer, he is literally in one of the top 5 industries for tech for 2025 and honestly for the foreseeable future. Somebody said, "Get me on live with you, Cyrus." It costs $20,000 to go live with me. No, I'm joking. Just tap in with me. Let me see what you do. Let me see what you're about and all of that. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, so look, let's go ahead and get into it. Hopefully no more technical difficulties. Y'all know we talk about tech, but tech be acting up sometimes. And that being said, so Dylan, thank you for coming on here, sharing your testimony about how you got in the industry, what's been going on so far. So I gotta ask you, starting out from the jump. Actually, let's start here. Can you tell us what was the moment like that you got your offer letter for your POC engineering role at Disney? What was that moment like?
It was like the job's not done. The job's not done.
Okay, Kobe.
The job's not done at all.
That's fact. That's facts. So you okay, that's cool. So all right, so let's go back. So can we talk about what you were doing before? Because again, I say all the time, like a lot of companies in some type of way are tech companies. Even McDonald's in a way is a tech company right now. A lot of people don't think of it that way, but they have a huge tech side. But that being said, what were you doing before you got in the tech industry? And what led you to be like, you know what, I should really consider getting a career in technology or getting a career just at one of these tech companies or the tech sector at all?
So before, what I was doing before I transitioned into tech, like I was in Clear, but before I did that, I was like doing video production. I was basically like an entrepreneur of sorts, like reselling stuff, doing like a little bit of trading, like video production, shooting music videos, doing stuff for like white collar businesses, just trying to make sense of everything. And like when COVID hit, I really didn't pivot too well. So I knew I needed to make a change. I knew that we're becoming more and more digital world. I seen like the doors to tech like just open up. And I said, hey, Dylan, like, you don't want to go back to school right now, but you need to make a change for your life, because if you don't, you're going to end up, flat out broken. Nobody wants to be like that. So I started doing little like looking around and stuff like that. And I came around Clear and I'm like, cool, so it's a biometric company. I guess it's tech, but let me see what it's about. And I got into it. It was basically like a sales position, but since I was one of the top sales leaders, all my freaking like colleagues, they loved me. My managers loved me. They started giving me more responsibility on, okay, Dylan, like, you know how to sell, you know how to connect with people. Can you start helping us install the kiosk machines that you see in the airports that take your biometrics? I'm like, yeah, I got you. So that was my first like taste of like, being like taste of hardware, installing systems, troubleshooting stuff while in the airport. MCO or any airport around the world is crazy. So that was my first, I guess, first time. I really don't know the right word to use it, but that was my first. Like,
dealing with technology in general, like in the workspace. You're like, okay, I'm kind of fooling with the tech. I'm kind of troubleshooting. If something breaking, I'm kind of fixing it. So that was kind of like your first entry, dipping your big toe into it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then from there, so you were working with Clear, working with the machines
Uh-huh.
and all that. And so what led you to say, yo, I want to go further now? So I've been doing this, I want to go further. And I know eventually you ended up doing a tech boot camp, not YellowTail Tech. You did a
Mhm.
completely other one. So what led you to go from Clear helping fix the machine to be like, okay, I'm gonna do this boot camp for this education? What
Uh,
ended up happening with that that led you to end up at YellowTail Tech instead? I mean,
okay, so that's
and again, we ain't gonna go into the details. I ain't trying to be
uh
messy.
yeah.
We ain't trying to be messy, but yeah. So what happened?
Okay, so like, and it's just funny how like everything is full circle. So like when I was talking to my GM at Clear, I'm like, hey, what's the CRM? Like, what do you guys use? Like, how do you guys keep track of members, emails, all that stuff? They were like, well, we use Salesforce. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I remember Salesforce because they spoke at one of my senior classes back at FIU before I graduated there. And I'm just, I was in the trenches of tech Twitter, seeing what's going on, see what boot camps are available. And I seen, hey, there's a boot camp that won't be named. Then it said they have a Salesforce program. I'm like, I'm gonna go for it. So then I can use a Salesforce certification and my experience to level up within Clear. Long story short, things really didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. So I just ended up just taking a step back, and I was kind of like back at square one. And I, I don't, I really don't know like what drew me to cloud or what drew me to. Uh, I just know I needed to make a decision. Like that's literally it's like back against the wall, Dylan. Like you can't fold. You know what you don't want to do, and
Yeah,
you need to make a decision ASAP. So
yeah,
went back on Twitter, went back on Instagram, just doing my little research, and then Simone Bees, I seen her speaking about this Yellowtail Tech Bootcamp. I'm like,
yeah,
I trust Bees. I'm in her Discord. Hollered at her about it. I'm like, okay, cool, but still being a skeptic, like a real skeptic because of my
yeah.
bad like
Because
situation with
your other experience, yeah.
was horrible. So somebody I respect the world out of. His name is Joseph Charles. He's a associate vice something of Red Hat. So
Okay.
and I told him about the boot camp. He's like, Dylan, like I don't care how much it costs, but if you weren't if I were to teach you handheld you directly of like how to like get into tech, this is exactly what I would tell you to do. And all those that's all he needed to say without further. I just went after it.
Yeah. That's incredible because I was wondering because we talked before we came on here and you told me how you did another boot camp. Again, one that won't be named, but you did another boot camp. And it didn't work out. Some things transpired. You decided to pull back. So I was wondering, like, what led you to do another boot camp like YellowTail Tech, and that makes perfect sense. So for those of y'all that kind of missed it, because usually what happens, y'all, is that y'all know, like those of y'all that haven't done a boot camp, but even those of y'all that are in the chat that have done a boot camp, you work in tech, you know that the number one thing people care about is this legitimate? Is this going to work? Hopefully, this isn't a waste of my money. And so I when someone does a program, and again, I want to be clear, y'all, this is not a program that I've ever recommended to anybody. I've never recommended this program. I know sometimes in the chat, y'all be trying to speculate like what program it is. This is not one I've ever recommended. That being said, and also this program is no longer in existence. The one he did after some things transpired. I need to put my phone on airplane mode. Somebody just called me. But long story short, after some things transpired within the program, they ended up shutting the program down eventually. So it's not a boot camp that exists anymore. Nevertheless, hearing someone that did a program, it was good, but wasn't really like quality on a certain level, and then to do something else, that definitely says a lot. So I mean, shouts out to Bees, shouts out to the person that you look up to, but also shouts out to you for being like, yo, let me not give up. Because so many people, y'all let me know in the chat, would y'all have gave up? Let's say you did a boot camp, and let's say some things transpired in the boot camp. It wasn't necessarily as quality as you expected or desired for it to be. And let me know, like, would y'all trust to do something else? And y'all could be honest. I'll be real. The boot camp I did, like, if I did a boot camp and it didn't work out, I probably would have been like, yeah, I'm not going to do it again. So it's dope that like God has somebody in your life that could be like, yo, even though that thing didn't work out, trust me, YellowTail Tech is quality, it's legitimate top to bottom. So I love that you had that. Now I'm curious. So you did YellowTail Tech. Oh, go ahead. What were you about to say?
Yeah, and I hate to cut your wisdom, but there's something that I wanted to like really stress. So like,
Yeah.
and just to be transparent with everyone, I've been a great student, A's B's student, but with tech, I know it might be a little bit boring and like self-studying and all that stuff. Like it may not be easy, and that's something that I actually like struggle with, to be complete. Even being a great student back in college, but locking in for tech wasn't something that I was really good at. But while fostering the relationships while in Yellowtail Tech and with their program being as structured as it is, I had no choice but to. And through the program, through the instructors, through the study sessions, I developed that skill of really, really locking in. So now it's like they gave me a lifelong skill.
That's fire. So they basically taught you how to lock in a way that you weren't able to lock in before.
It was either put up or shut up. It's like you're only gonna get out. You're only gonna get what you put in. As corny as that may sound, but it's just like,
That's real.
what are you here for?
Yo, that's super real, super real. No, thank you for sharing that so much. And so, no, that's really good. I'm super happy that you said that. I see a few people saying some things. Somebody said if they did me dirty, I'd be hurt. Okay. Oh, that's good. That's a good comment. Somebody said if one fails, another should work because the proof is out there that it works. Uh, all right, Gigi wants me back. Gigi wants me back says I would have looked for something else. Okay, cool. So she was like, yo, I wouldn't have gave up. You okay? GGFC says probably not. Yo, GGFC, are you the GG that wants them back? Because y'all are right next to each other. One person's his name is GG. The other one is GG wants me back. Like I low-key got to screenshot this because this is actually crazy. This is actually crazy. That's actually funny. Anyway, Corey says you learn how to lock in when you see the true reality, and if you do not start working, your time will never come. Yo, that's so true. That's actually what helped me lock in, or not even lock in, but I basically hit a point where I was like, you know what? If I don't go ahead and pay this money for this boot camp and do something, then like my situation isn't going to change. I was like, I looked at my money and I was like, dang, I've never had, because I had like few thousand dollars in my account. I said, man, I never had this much money in my account. I'm about to go ahead and pay this. But I remember thinking like, well, Cyrus, this money isn't about to materialize in the hundreds and thousands of dollars. And I came to the reality where I was like, you know what? If I pay this money and it doesn't work out, I'm just going to be where I'm at right now. But if I don't pay for it and I keep this money in my account, I'm still going to be where I'm at right now. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and do it. And obviously, it worked out for me really well. So, but anyway, so can you highlight? So you touched on how they helped you really lock in during the program. Well, can you talk about what were some of the things? Because you, as someone because you have something going for yourself that I don't. I haven't done multiple boot camps. You've done two. So can you highlight, in your opinion, because again, the boot camp you did, it wasn't that the information was bad. You were getting good sauce, good information, I'm assuming. So can you highlight what was different? Because this would be good for people that don't know the difference between a quality program in boot camp versus one that's like maybe good, but it's not like really quality.
Mm-hmm. I would honestly need to say the structure of like, okay, hey, you're gonna meet Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And also I want to give another shout out to the enrollment advisors. Like they kind of set you up from the beginning, like, hey, like if you're not willing to dedicate at least 10 hours of studying a week, don't even waste your time. So right from the jump. So right from the jump, they set that expectation, like, because a lot of people, unfortunately, when they think of tech, they think it's like they kind of treat it as a get rich quick scheme, or hey, if they know one area of tech, they could like do everything else. But no, that's not the case at all. So on the Roman advisor Kim, she really sat down with me and said, hey, Dylan, like this is what you need to do to succeed. And I just kind of took her word with it. And then the instructors, they met you where you're at. So granted, there might have been other people in the cohort that might have had, more technical experience and stuff like that. But the instructors didn't hold back, and they literally held your hand. So if you had 5, 10 dumb questions, they made sure that you understood what was being taught. and also the supporting learning sessions on the weekend. That was great. But another thing that really stood out to me, like when you're around like I guess like-minded individuals and people that really want to lock in as much as you, once you lock in with those people, like y'all set, you know. And then like and for then like the TAs to pick up on that, it just kind of made the whole learning environment better and like more nurtured everything. It kind of
Yeah.
it fostered everything better.
Yo, that's incredible. That's so incredible, man. Look, so we actually got somebody here in the chat on Instagram. They said, invest in yourself. I'm in YellowTail Tech class right
Shout
now.
out to
So
you,
that's
Steph.
dope. That's dope. Yeah, shouts out to you, Steph. Love it, love it. Steph, so let us know in the chat if you could let people know in the chat, because this is one thing to hear a testimony about somebody who broke into the industry a couple years ago who did YellowTail Tech. You're currently in it. You know, can you let people know maybe let people know like what's your favorite thing about the program so far? You know, what's something that people can expect from the YellowTail Tech program when it comes to getting into tech. Also, I see somebody in the chat on YouTube saying, I'm trying to land a Linux system admin role as my first tech job while I'm learning AWS. Any advice? So YellowTail Tech, they can assist you when it comes to that. So yeah, I would say YellowTail Tech. If you've done some other program or something, DM me, let me know about it, and I can kind of check the program out and see if you might still need another program. But if you haven't done a bootcamp, because again, getting an AWS certification or learning that is good, but you need more than just a certification. Like you actually need like that additional assistance. You know what? Let me actually say this. Dylan, if you could, because you could speak to this more, because that's literally your field that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the field that you have education in, you have knowledge in, all of that. So if you saw, like looking at the question from Corey, where they're like, yo, I'm learning AWS, is when it comes to, and I know that you're not, I know that you're not a systems, you're not a Linux systems admin. I know that's not the exact same thing. But based on your knowledge within that domain, what would you say if someone came to you and said, hey, I'm learning AWS, I want to be a Linux systems admin. What's any advice that you have?
I would honestly like if they're learning AWS and they want to be a Linux system admin, I'd be like, why are you learning AWS? That's my first question, number one. Second question would be like, what is and I'm not trying to come across like that, but it's honestly
no,
like,
that's real. That actually hit me. I'm like, yeah, wait, actually, those are two different things. Like, it took me a second for it to hit me. Yeah.
But I'll add this. So like Linux is kind of like the foundation. So I wouldn't even entertain AWS unless like I wouldn't entertain AWS at all, you know. But the good thing is if you lock in on Linux and you understand like how the command line works, how to create groups, how to create users, how to bash script, all that stuff, that knowledge you're taking from Linux is gonna help you in AWS. And like in the program that I was in with YellowTail Tech, they gave us, I think it was either 6 or 8 weeks of straight Linux, and then what we had on the that course that ran parallel to that was networking. So we kind of like YellowTail really just covered their tail when it came to like setting people up for success when it comes to whether they want to be a cloud engineer, cloud admin, a Linux system administrator. So if you really want to learn Linux system administration, get into the YellowTail Tech Linux for Jobs portion, and then see if you could transfer into their cloud for jobs portion. That's like my advice.
That's super good. I love that. I love that so much. So, T. Relly, what if you're starting brand new? How do you decide which program works for you? So like he said, Linux is a good foundation. So if you're starting brand new, you might want to start off with Linux when it comes to that piece. Most people don't jump straight to cloud because without having the foundation of Linux.
You need the foundation. You can't. That's like, for instance, like, and no knock to anybody that does this, but like, there's like narratives where you could just quote unquote jump into cybersecurity, but you can't just jump into cybersecurity. You have to learn the foundation, because when you come into like a technical interview or initial interview, like the recruiters, the hiring managers, they're not, I don't say they're not playing, but they could easily detect BS. So it's like, if you don't know how to articulate yourself in a technical manner or speak technical jargon, you're going to get exposed. So it's more than just like, yeah, I got a cert. It's like, do you know how to use the management console? Do you know how to work in the CLI? Like, do you know how to partition the disk? Do you know that?
Yeah, I love that. So we're going to address a couple more questions, and we're going to get back to his story. Also, I see a question in the comments. I'm not going to call the person out. The question is, let me hear some technical interview questions you got. I know you don't mean bad, but I would, if you could just frame that like a question or politely, and not like just being like, "Yo, tell me this," whatever. But yeah, we'll get to that question in a minute. So last question we'll get to right now, and we'll jump back into your story. Someone asked, "Are certifications and projects included with YellowTail Tech's program?"
Yeah. So, well, when you're asking, are certifications included, like, what exactly do you mean by that? But as far as like projects, yes, projects and labs are all included. There's definitely like homework assignments that you need to do 1000%, because if you don't do the homework assignments and you're just taking notes, how are you going to retain the information? Like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm a kinesthetic learner, so like I have to do things like physically to like have it locked in my brain. I can't just learn something about it and then know what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like riding a bike.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Tay? Hey, Tay on Tech just joined. I don't know how long he's gonna be here, so I'm gonna say something to him real quick. Hey, Tay, can you DM me, either DM me or shoot me a text message with a cybersecurity Discord that you would recommend? I did a coaching call earlier with a young dude who is interested in cybersecurity, and one of the pieces of advice that I gave him is that because he's really young, literally he's like, I think like 18 or something. So I told him he needs to tap in with the community while he's learning. So yeah, if you could shoot that over to me, bro, like text or DM, I'd appreciate that. It'll help him out a lot. Anyway, shouts out to Tay. He's been a guest on the Tech is New Black podcast. He's killing it in cybersecurity. So definitely somebody good to tap in with. What's actually funny, Dylan, I'm not going to say too much. Dylan, Tay is actually the person who told me more of the Twitter backstory and how the Twitter tech community is crazy. And
oh my gosh!
And he highlighted to me the other boot camp that you did. He highlighted more of the backstory because he lives in the same city as her. Uh-huh. And so, yes, Tay, it's a whole bunch of stuff where it's hilarious. Anyway, all right, let's get back locked in. Locked in. What Dr. Umar say? We must stay focused. We must
stay focused.
All right. So when it comes to the question that they said about certifications, I'm pretty sure. So I always see people ask, "Are they going to get a certification when they do a bootcamp or program?" So there's two sides of it. And Dylan, you could touch on this if there's anything I'm missing, because what I've done in tech did not require certifications at all. I've been on a side of tech that doesn't require certifications. Nevertheless, when you're on the side that you're on, cloud, Linux, cybersecurity, all that stuff, I know y'all got all type of certifications, Red Hat, like it's all these types of things that y'all have. That being said, a boot camp or a high level ed tech program like YellowTail Tech, they don't necessarily give you a certification that's industry standard, but they will teach you, train you, and of course highlight what specific certifications you need and be there for you in some capacity when you actually take the test, and so that way you can pass those tests. Dylan, how right am I? How wrong am I when it comes to?
No, you're actually right, and like I don't want to boost anybody's heads up or like give anybody false hope, but I want to be transparent. YellowTail Tech did give out a free Sec Plus voucher, so I was able to get my Sec Plus through a voucher that I got through YellowTail Tech.
Oh, cool. So you didn't even have to like go out of your way and go and pay for it. You got a voucher that was included. That's fire. That's fire. I love that. That's really good. Really good. Yeah. So one thing I will say for everybody, oftentimes I see this a lot. Oftentimes people care about if you get a certification after the program is over, and most even programs that aren't that quality give you something when the program is over. But I just want to highlight for y'all, and this is just something for me to say to people in general, you having that proof of graduation is not the thing that's going to make or break you getting a job. No recruiter in the history of ever is going to say, show me the certification proof that you graduated this program. That's not going to happen. What they will care about is, do you actually have the education when it comes to those specific, like, we talk about Red Hat, or depending on what it is you're interested in doing in tech, they'll care about those things. But even in those examples, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to need to see your certification. They're just going to question you in the interview. and test you to see if you actually know your stuff. So
Exactly.
just highlight that. All right, so good stuff. So let's get back into the story. So at this point, so you did YellowTail Tech. It taught you a lot. You did another program for people that are new, that are just now jumping in. I know there's people jumping in, jumping out of the stream. So he was someone where he was interested in working in the tech industry. He got to actually work on the hardware in Klein, goodness, at what is it called?
Clear.
Clear. Thank you.
We're skipping a line at the airport.
Yeah, exactly. So he was, working at Clear. Eventually, they started pulling on him to help set up the kiosk. He started kind of like being a person that was kind of fixing them if they were kind of breaking down. He was very interested in getting the tech industry. He did another bootcamp or program, and the program was pretty good, but there were some things that were lacking, and there were some things that happened in the program. The program ended up getting shut down shortly after he decided to step away from the program. He started questioning whether or not boot camps and stuff, like if it was something he could trust in, but he still knew he wanted to get in the industry. But then a colleague of his, or Bees, shouts out to Simone Bees, my homegirl, Bees, encouraged him to do YellowTail Tech. He was interested in doing YellowTail Tech. He asked her about it. Bees told him it was legitimate, but he still was like, because he had a bad experience with another program. So he ended up talking to someone else that he also admires. That person told him straight up, look, bro, do this. Like, this is where it's at. Gave him his faith again in doing an ed tech platform. He did YellowTail Tech, had an entirely different experience. It really helped him lock in. One of the things I love about YellowTail Tech, they are not trying to like beg you to sign up for their program. They gonna tell you straight up, look, if you ain't coming ready to put in the work, then don't even sign up. Don't even sign up. If you ain't about to put this work in, do not even sign up. And of course, he signed up, did the program, locked in, and as y'all know, now he's, based on the title, he is a POS engineer.
My bad.
Excuse me, POS. Oh, dang! I literally put the title POC.
It's all good.
People gonna be like, he a person of color engineer.
Yo, put that on Shade Room. No, I'm just saying.
Literally, somebody gonna be like, "Yo, man, I thought DI was over. How you get a POC engineer?"
Yo, let's run that.
Person of color engineer. That's hilarious. He's a POS engineer. POS engineer at Disney. So for those of y'all that are tuning in later on YouTube and LinkedIn, for those that are interested in the same program he did, YellowTail Tech, I've interviewed at this point probably 8 different people that have done YellowTail Tech over the last year and a half, almost 2 years. So really quality program, top tier. And again, the industry, what YellowTail teaches on the cloud space, Linux, that is literally top 5 roles in the tech industry for 2025. Like you're literally, and I mean this, y'all, I want y'all to hear what I'm about to say. We talk about the cloud space, the Linux space. There are more roles that are open than there are people that are qualified for them. It's the opposite of a lot of the rest of the tech industry, where a lot of the rest of the industry is like oversaturated with quality people. It's a field that is growing, because y'all know every single time, every business, like, let me know in the chat, who here, any type of business you ever created, I don't care if it's a social media business where it's just online. Every time you have a business, you need cloud storage. I don't care if you just using Dropbox or whatever service you're using. If you're storing videos, storing images, storing files, you need cloud storage. I don't care if you have contracts for your business and it's virtual, those contracts are held somewhere in the cloud. So understand, every business that's created, every person that's using some type of technology, which is literally everybody, that is only making the cloud industry more in demand. So it's an industry that is just growing and growing, and it's just continuing to grow. Amazing field in tech. Somebody said AWS is the cloud. Yes, so they're one cloud provider. There's also Microsoft Azure. There's also GCP, Google Cloud provider. And there's some other like smaller players in the field too. Those are cloud companies. A lot of people don't know this. Sidebar, Amazon, y'all know Amazon, the retail, the virtual retail we order things from. Amazon is actually not the breadwinner of the business. The breadwinner is AWS. So Amazon, the retail store, they don't make the majority of money for Jeff Bezos or for Amazon as a business. Their cloud service, them being a cloud provider, is actually their largest source of income. So again, but you see the difference between having a B2B business like AWS versus B2C, which is mainly for us. And again, it just shows you how big the cloud space is. We all talk about Amazon, but Amazon is French fries, potatoes, small fries compared to AWS. I need to get my sayings right. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it. So again, for those of y'all on YouTube, LinkedIn, you're like, yo, I want a career in the cloud space and Linux, all of that, systems admin, Linux admin, anything in that space. Definitely tap in with YellowTail Tech. If you want to be a DevOps engineer, tap in with YellowTail Tech, same program he did. I have a discount link down in the description below, specifically for those of y'all on YouTube and LinkedIn. Click the link to see the description below. On Instagram, comment the word yellow, and my automations will send you the information to your DMs for the discount to YellowTail Tech. Great program, top to bottom. Juby, the founder of YellowTail Tech, he's like halfway, like a part-time mentor of mine, person I look up to, and I look up to him because of how well YellowTail Tech is ran. Like, it's such a great program. I can't say enough about the program and how well they run it. I literally was at his wedding. I was at his wedding in Medellin, Colombia, 3 weeks ago. He had literally the best wedding I've ever been to in my life. That wedding was so lit, start to finish. That wedding was crazy.
Haitians and Dominicans, you know how we get down. I'm Haitian.
Man, the craziest combo ever. Look, y'all, if y'all ever get invited to a Haitian and Dominican wedding at once, especially if they got a bag, they work in tech, it's about to be crazy. That wedding was crazy, y'all. Crazy.
I know they had fire dances. It was lit. I seen it via your story. I ain't gonna hold you. That's funny. I seen it through your story.
That joint was crazy, man. It really was so much fun. Like, I was getting ready to leave 2 times. 2 times I was getting ready to leave because it was like I was there for a minute and I'm thinking like, okay, everything's over. It's about to wrap up. I'm getting ready to leave and I'm leaving like with my wedding date that I had with me. And then literally everybody's like, we getting stopped. They're like, where y'all going? We like, oh, it ain't open. They're like, no, something else about to happen. Like, what? You got called back in and something else happened. Then some fire people showed up, breathing fire, doing fire tricks. Then I'm like, okay, cool. All right, it's around midnight. Time to go ahead and dip out. They like, where are you going? We got a whole circus that's about to show up in here. Like, what? It was so crazy. It was so crazy, y'all. It was a beautiful wedding, beautiful ceremony, beautiful culture, beautiful people from the Haitian side, the Dominican side. Just lovely, just beautiful overall, incredible wedding. But again, the other thing I want to say about his wedding, y'all, he had some of his graduates there at his wedding who are in tech because they did YellowTail Tech. So literally, they didn't just get in tech. It's like they're so locked in with Juby that even like years have gone by and they're still like, yo, let me go to your wedding. Like, to fly out of their country to fly to Colombia to go to his wedding. It just shows you just how like, it's one thing to like get help and to like get an industry, but it's a whole nother thing. And again, y'all, I've seen boot camps that are good, that are quality, where people get in the industry. Like the boot camp I did, I got in the industry for my boot camp program. But I never met the CEO of the boot camp that I did, never had an interaction with him until over a year after I helped hundreds of people like sign up for the boot camp. And then eventually I met the CEO. And that's no shade. That's just highlighting the difference between like, you know, you can get help versus you actually get like, you're tapping in with people where you're like, yo, thank you, but I still want to be a part in some type of way, capacity with what y'all are doing. And you got to say, Dylan?
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut your wisdom. So something I also wanted to like mention. So for those of you like who heard about GovTechCon, right? There's another dude who graduated from YellowTail. His name is Stefan. And I remember I literally seen Juby like literally pouring into Stefan. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then like I literally had my moment where he just like literally 15, 20 minutes just saying like, Dylan, what are some of your goals? What's next for you? Just like really taking time out to say like, just to see who I am as a person, like who is this guy that graduated from my program? Like, what is he about? Why did he do this? So that really stood out to me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And Juby's Juby's a great person overall. I really admire him, look up to him a lot. So somebody said, what bootcamp did he do? So he did YellowTail Tech. He's probably the 8th person I've interviewed at this point, somewhere around the 8th person that I've interviewed that's done YellowTail Tech, that's working in the industry. And wedding was beautiful. The wedding was dope. So look, y'all, we got a little bit of time, so I want to kind of wrap up his story so that way we can get to y'all's questions. So make sure y'all got y'all's questions ready. On Instagram, make sure y'all are clicking the question box or clicking the drop down above my head and putting your question in the designated question area. On YouTube, LinkedIn, y'all can just post your questions in the chat and we'll be able to get over to y'all's questions. So now let's talk about you working as not a person, you are a person of color engineer, but a POS engineer at Disney. Can you talk about what is a POS engineer? Like what does that entail? And then can you talk about working at a company that isn't traditionally seen as a tech company and how people should realize that the opportunity where when they talk about working in tech, they could work in tech within a company that's not a tech company?
That's a lot to unload. So I'm gonna answer the first part of the question. What is a POS engineer? So basically what POS is, point of sale, right? So essentially what my role is, right? I make sure that all the system, well, let me backtrack a little bit. So this is literally like my second week. I'm my second weekend. I just got out of training, right? So what they started me off doing was, hey, like you're gonna troubleshoot, yes, but you gotta get your hands dirty. You gotta install these machines too. You can't get away from that. So with what I've been doing so far is more or less installing, taking the payment terminals off of one system, a Windows system, and installing the Android-based system within the payment terminal. And just to give y'all further like insight on this, the cloud provider that the Android system uses is actually AWS as well. So if there's anything that really goes on that's an error or some bugs in the back end, I could definitely fix it and assist within that. And I make sure that like, hey, all the terminals and the peripheral devices that's connected to the terminals are running effectively, and that there's no bugs, and that payments can be received and people could get their exact change and payments could go through, and there's no like hassle on either side as well. So I make basically a seamless experience for the guests at Disney.
Yo, that's fire. So I'm curious. So which side of Disney do you work on? Are you working on like the Disney Plus side, or are you working on
on Walt Disney? I'm in Orlando right now, so like I'm on the field. So I was at Epcot. Next week I'm gonna be at Animal Kingdom, and then the week after that I might be at Magic Kingdom.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, hands on.
So dang, so you basically get to go to the Disney, like you be at the Disney theme parks and stuff just for not just even for the free, but you getting paid to be there.
Yeah. It's like a whole compound. It's crazy, but like seeing things behind the scenes.
That's incredible. That's so cool, man. That's so cool. I need to start working at some fun tech companies. I need to stop working just for the check. I need to start being like, yo, let me work at this company so I can like peek behind the curtain and food.
You like being remote, don't cap. You like being remote. Come on now.
But your company, like what, Orlando? Like Orlando is I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I was a little bored when I went to Orlando, but that was some years ago though. Orlando is like definitely a tourist city. Is definitely, especially if you're talking about like the Disney stuff. So I mean,
I can show you around. There's lit places in Orlando. I could show you around for real. Like there's a lot of gems that like people don't even know about.
I believe it, because I went and I was like, yeah, I was like, okay, there's got to be something here that I just don't know about.
Yeah.
So, but no, that's cool though. So what can you tell us the value of your roles? You told us what you do. Let's say you didn't know how to do your job, or let's say somebody didn't know what to do. How would that hurt the business, or how would that hurt that theme park or that ride? Like what would be the effect if someone wasn't doing your job?
They would lose money. Point blank period. You have terminals that can accept payment. How are people gonna buy food, buy drinks, buy merchandise? Yeah. Like you're cutting off numerous avenues, like numerous streams of income. How can you even buy a ticket? Dang. How can you buy a fast pass? How like you know what I mean? So and I'm not to cut you off. So like, and also too, it's more than just like payments not being received, but how can you keep things secure? Like say if like, okay, I pay for freaking a Mickey's ears, right? And then the payment isn't secured, like that, and there's a vulnerability within that. A bunch of other stuff could be exploited and be taken, or data being stolen. Like there's a lot of things that goes on with outside of just making sure payment goes through.
Man, that's incredible. So I wanted to ask that, 'cause I think sometimes people get caught up on all like, okay, what do you do? How much are you making? But they don't understand like, okay, why are you getting paid so well? And that's what a lot of people don't really catch, or don't really understand the true value of something. Okay, so that's super cool. So if you could give a word of advice, because we're about to go ahead and wrap up this portion and then get to everybody's questions. If you could go back and talk to yourself, let's say like when you were at your lowest or most bitter feelings towards boot camps, because you had did one program, for those that missed it, did one program, it wasn't very quality, some things happened. What advice would you give to yourself without being able to tell yourself, hey, do YellowTail Tech? What advice would you give yourself in that moment in time? And of course, in a way that I'm sure would like bless other people that are here too.
So what would I tell myself when I was like down and out? Or
yeah, like when you were like, okay, should I still get in the tech industry? Should I still work towards the tech industry? Like what encouragement or what word of advice or wisdom, like you say, what would you share with yourself?
How much do you care about your family?
Dang.
Because
that's powerful.
Yeah. How much?
What were you about to say?
No, because it's like, bro, we're becoming more and more digital world. You know, AI's coming. We probably have like a good 5 to 10 year window, and that's being really optimistic. But it's like it's either going to be a dinosaur. You're either going to be a dinosaur and off to the wayside, or you're going to get the times. Yeah. And if you don't get with the times, your family is going to be asked out. You're going to be asked out, and nobody wants to be in no situation like that.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true, man. Those are facts. Yeah, it's not even the future. It's like that's the present, but the present is, but it's becoming more and more. Yeah, we all see the writing on the wall. We see everything that's happening with technology. It went from 10, 15 years ago, the tech industry is a good job to have, to 5 years ago, yo, it's literally one of the best careers to have, best paying, to a couple years ago, like, yo,
you need it.
Like you need it. But now it's like, yo, everything is literally becoming to like if you're not in some capacity heavily involved in this industry, especially like you mentioned, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now, it's like, what are you even doing? Like what? Because everything else is gonna turn technology. Like somebody here said it in the chat. They said that they have a friend that works at Chick-fil-A, but they are a software engineer or a developer. Wow. So it's like I've been to tech conferences. I've said it before. Gap was at a tech conference, and I was like, "What are y'all doing here?" And they said, "Oh, a lot of people don't know this. Gap, a huge foundation of our business. Like we have our own proprietary technology." I was like, "What? Gap, the clothing store?" They were like, "Yeah," and they were breaking it down and talking about like how that actually helps a lot of their revenue that people don't know about, and how they're turning more into a tech business. McDonald's and all these other companies, like everything is turning into technology. Y'all look at the banks, for example. Banks are evolving. They're trying right now to evolve into crypto companies or crypto businesses. And crypto is tech. Like crypto tech is another side or branch within the tech industry. So literally everyone, it was funny, 2 years ago, JP Morgan not JP Morgan. 2 years ago, the CEO of Chase Bank, Jamie Dimon, thank you. Jamie Dimon was saying, "Oh, crypto is a scam. It's stupid." Now Chase is aggressively working towards becoming a crypto business and like heavily doing everything in crypto. So it's like all of these industries and companies and organizations. The thing that's funny is that when people are hesitant about getting in tech, it's like these companies aren't hesitant about getting in tech. They are becoming tech companies. So it's like we all see that this is where the world is going. So really the question is like what are y'all going to do? What are you going to do? What is your plan? What is your out? Somebody in the chat said earlier that they trying to turn off they Uber app. Basically, they're an Uber driver. Like I was a Lyft driver, And I was like, I need to get out of this game and switch over into the tech industry. And so anyway, enough of me talking. Let's get to the comments, get to some of y'all's questions right before we go ahead and wrap up. So let's go ahead and check these out. Also, I want to say this real quick for anybody who let's say you're like, you've already went to college for tech, or let's say you're interested in doing something entirely different, and let's say like you already have done some type of education, maybe you got a bunch of certifications. I am doing coaching calls right now. And for the month of January, I'm doing them literally at 50% off. I'm doing it because there's a lot of mass hiring that's happening right now in tech. I'm not sure how long this is going to last because everything has ebbs and flows. And so like Coinbase is mass hiring right now. Salesforce, when we're talking about tech sales, Salesforce is hiring 2,000 tech sales professionals right now. And the list goes on and on, y'all. It's really getting crazy. And then we talk about the crypto tech side of things, or we talk about AI and all these AI startups. It's getting really crazy, robotics. So the opportunities are crazy. So I'm trying to really help more people get into the industry. So somebody called me out because they were like, yo, Cyrus, you only help people who don't have any experience get in tech. It's like, what about those of us that we have enough experience that we don't need college or a boot camp, but we're still missing something that we're not able to like land more interviews or land a job or even scale further. And I was like, yo, those are facts. So that being said, so I've opened myself back up to start doing some coaching calls again. So definitely tap in with me. The link is down below for those of y'all that are on LinkedIn and YouTube. If y'all don't see it, just shoot me a DM and I got you. For those of y'all on Instagram, just comment career coach or tech coach, and then you'll get access to that. But anyway, that's being said, we only got a few minutes left. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it over so we can go ahead and get to this question. Somebody saying, woo, that's me. Yeah. And I realize it's a lot of people that actually they fall into that category. So I'm like, let me start looking out for those people too. So anyway, let's get into the question. So I don't know if you know. I think I know the answer to this question. I'll pass it over to you though. What's the difference between YellowTail Tech and Black in Tech? I think they mean Black is Tech, but YellowTail Tech and Black in Tech.
I think Black is Tech or Black in Tech. I think that's like a nonprofit organization that like helps people like break into that tech industry. But it's not necessarily like a boot camp. I really don't know much. All I know is like it's like a nonprofit organization, and I guess they help people break into tech. But I really don't know much about it other than that.
Yeah, Black in Tech is a conference. It's a tech event that happens. I actually was supposed to be a speaker at their conference last year. I can't remember why I didn't make it to the conference, but Black in Tech is they have a community and stuff, but they're not YellowTail Tech. Like YellowTail Tech is a quality ed tech platform. Like YellowTail Tech to me is the closest thing, like for people that really like college, like a rigorous college curriculum. YellowTail Tech is the closest thing to that isn't college, that doesn't cost as much as college, that's not nowhere near the length of college, all that stuff. But anyway, in the Black and Tech, they're two entirely different things. All right, Taylor Shank Official says, I'll be starting the next YellowTail Tech cohort. Hey, congratulations. What's some advice or tips you have as I'm going through the program?
Lock in. Literally, that's it. Just lock in. Just study. Take advantage of everything that they're giving to you. Like they have weekend study sessions. Go to them. Ask as many questions as you need to. Lock in with maybe 4 or 5 other people that want it as bad as you do, and like start your own study sessions with them. That's literally what me and my friends did. Like I could just literally name them, and we kept everybody accountable. We had our own study sessions. We came up with other questions for our TA to go further in detail with what we needed to learn, just so we could become better like candidates and stand out in the marketplace. At the end of the day, like you have to the course, it's like 6 to 7 months, but you have to be at least prepared to lock in for at least a year. If you can't do that, don't even waste your time.
Yeah,
that's what I did. That's what I did. I prepared myself to at least lock in for a year, because then after the learning portion, there's the apprenticeship, and the apprenticeship was probably like, that's when I really got my elbows dirty, because there was some times when I handled certain tickets where I'm not even gonna lie to you, I had to 4 or 5 hours handling one ticket, because it was difficult, but I knew I had to get over this hump if I wanted to get to where I wanted to get to. And being able to speak to that difficult experience, imagine being able to speak about a difficult experience during apprenticeship and really articulate yourself to a hiring manager or a recruiter, and they be like, yo, he really has like skin in the game, he knows what he's talking about. And all that difficulty that you experienced, that you encountered earlier, that just makes you a stronger person, a stronger individual, a stronger candidate. A lot of people think they could just finesse their way into a technical interview. That's not going to happen at all.
At all. That's funny. I remember before I did a boot camp to get in tech, I literally applied. I did everything I could for an entire year. I didn't even get an interview. I was like, yo, somebody, someone said, okay, that's good. I graduated, didn't have a job for 2 months. I applied nonstop, put in 3 to 4K applications, and finally hit one. The thing is, you got to keep putting in the work. Someone is going to give you a chance. That's very, it's never a matter of really if, it's a matter of, and it's not even a matter of really when, it's a matter of how. I used to think it was a matter of when someone could get in tech, but I realized it's a matter of how much work you're putting in, like how serious are you about it. So again, because I've seen people, it's funny, I interviewed a person one time that did a boot camp. It was the longest I've ever seen it take somebody to get a job after they did a boot camp. I think it was 14 months. I was like, whoa, that seemed like a long time. Like he did the program, after the program was over, 14 months later. And I was like, dang, bro, it took you that long? And I'm thinking something was up with the program or the market. He said, no, he said it was my fault. He says, like, I was about 3-4 months in and I just gave up. He was like, and I started back like almost a year later. I was like, you know what? I'm tripping. Let me go ahead, and I did this program. Let me go ahead and try. Anyway, so we're gonna get to one last question, and then I'm gonna let Dylan wrap up. So let's see if I see something on YouTube or LinkedIn. All right, y'all. I don't see any questions on YouTube or LinkedIn. So, okay, cool. Okay, all right. Guess we're gonna go with Instagram then. Oh, so you said, sorry, tech is the new black. So you're talking about our program. So our boot camp is actually called Scaling Tech, but tech is the new black. So we don't offer cloud. We don't offer cloud, nothing with Linux, none of those things at all. So that's entirely different from what we offer. Yeah. So we don't offer cloud. So what he's talking about, we don't offer that at all whatsoever. I only know what I know about it because I'm in the industry and I network with so many people. So as you can tell, there's a lot that I don't know about that space. I just know it's in demand. It pays really good, and the demand is growing for it. So, but someone said, "All right, do you think you involved with DAOS and generative AI or other AI services?" I don't think that y'all are doing anything with AI in your field yet. Are you?
So you know what's funny? Like, okay, DAO, I don't know if Disney's doing anything with DAO. However, I was speaking to one of my supervisors and I was like, hey, like, this is my plan. He was like, you know what, Dylan? Like, I appreciate you being honest with me. And they have like generative AI positions available. They have other positions available that's future proof. You know what I mean? So if you're looking to get into the AI space, you should look at some AI positions that Disney has. And like I plan to get promoted. I plan to move on within the next 5 to 6 months because like nobody wants to be stagnant. Nobody wants to stay in no place for too long. You know, it's about growth.
Yeah, that's real. Super real. Hey, look, man, thank you so much. Before I know you got to go ahead and go. So I just want to ask you if you could leave the people with one word of advice that you could leave them with before you hop off.
One word of advice.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to sound corny, but it was just like, lock in, bruh. Don't go out. Don't splurge. Don't shop. Don't DM nobody. Like, just lock in. Be a hermit. Like, like I know we speaking about like Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I don't know. You remember like, and I don't know if anybody that's watching really cares about Dragon Ball Z, but whatever. So like, you remember like how like Goku and all of them, they had to like go into the hyperbolic time chamber. Yeah, literally that. Duck off from everybody. Get in that.
Yeah. That's real. They locked in for a whole year. No interaction with nobody else.
Yeah, man. So That's literally what I had to do.
Yeah, that's so. And you know what's funny is that people hear that and then they think like they don't realize like yo that time is gonna go by, and you're gonna
Either
look
way.
back. Yeah, exactly. I love that so much, man. Hey, look, man, congratulations, bro, for putting in the work. Congratulations on allowing your love for your family and your passion as to where you want it to be, for letting that guide you more than your frustration or any letdowns or what happened before. Yeah, bro. And thanks, man, for coming on here, sharing your testimony with everybody, your tech testimony, getting in the industry, bro. Really appreciate it.
And I appreciate you having me. Like I've literally like not and not trying to beat on the dead horse. I remember like when you posted your first video of like, yo, this was me before, like, bro, sleeping on my sister's couch. Like I remember I'm like, yo, you looking
Yeah.
busted. But then no, but I'm just saying like the beauty like I got the effect that you were going for compared to now where you're at. It's just like, bro, like we need that honesty, we need that transparency, because people see glitz and glam, but they don't see people locked in for the hyperbolic time chamber or just locking in, not talking to nobody else.
Yo,
So
that's real. It's so real, so real. Hey, bro, look, I appreciate that so much. Hey, look, y'all. Hey, y'all tap in with him on y'all see his name. Those of y'all on YouTube and LinkedIn, y'all see his name, Dylan. Is it Marcelin?
yeah,
Marcelin?
either way,
Okay,
from
cool.
French, whatever.
Y'all tap in with him. He French or whatever, and Dominican or whatever. Now, what'd you say you are?
I'm just Haitian.
Haitian,
I'm valid
Haitian.
in the Dominican community.
Yeah, so look, y'all tap in with him. Man, bro, appreciate you so much for coming on. Yeah, again, y'all, he did YellowTail Tech Bootcamp. Again, he's probably the 8th person I've interviewed from YellowTail Tech. Top tier, top quality program. Can't say enough great things about it. Again, I have a discount link. Y'all know I always offer a discount with the program that I represent, that I'm telling y'all about. So I don't recommend any other cloud Linux program but YellowTail Tech. With most other programs, I usually recommend 2 different options that are the 2 best. There's nothing that compares or is close to YellowTail Tech. It's in an entirely different league of its own. So yeah, those of y'all on YouTube, LinkedIn, look in the description down below. Y'all see the actual discount link. Literally, y'all can have a consultation. They do 10-minute consultations where you could talk to them, ask questions, tap in, really see if it's a great fit for you. For those of y'all on Instagram, just comment the word yellow and my automation will send you a DM. Again, I'm on the Tech is New Black Instagram right now. So you'll get the DM from the Tech is New Black Instagram page. Just comment the word yellow and you'll get that. Other than that, love y'all so much. Y'all have a blessed and beautiful night. I'm in Colombia right now, so I'm probably gonna go out, dance a little bit, enjoy myself a little bit because I've been locked in for the past few days. So yeah, y'all have a good night.
All right, take care.
All right, bro.